A lot of men do not know the difference between leadership and oppression. They literally look at the two things as if they are the same exact picture. That's why they're so comfortable going out there and saying that they only want submissive women, aka I do not want a woman with critical thinking skills. I just want a woman that will say, yes, sir. And I've told y'all this before. If that's the kind of woman you're looking for, you want a man. Because this is how men think. Men confuse leadership with oppression. They confuse blindly following somebody for respect, right? All of these things are really just one thing to them. Respect, leadership, oppression, it all looks the same. It's a perfect circle. The Venn diagram of those things in a man's brain is a perfect circle. And that's why they say these things. I want a submissive woman. They say things like, oh, you don't want to have schmex with me? Well, you can just lay there, right? They don't actually care about the relational aspect of leadership, which is like the most important aspect of leadership, which is why I always say that women make better leaders than men, because women understand the relational aspect. They actually understand respect. They understand critical thinking. All of these things make a good leader. The things that men understand, which is submission, oppression, strength, violence, those things make a good oppressor. Those things make a good dictator. Those things make a good villain. They do not make a good leader. A good leader does not have to oppress anybody. A good leader does not have to rule with violence by forcing people to submit. Men confuse blind obedience for respect, and they confuse never being questioned with power, when neither of those things really track. If you were to ask a man to describe a good leader, they would probably not jump straight to somebody who is able to put a pew-pew to a bunch of people's heads and threaten them into obeying. They would probably give you a whole bunch of pontification about how leaders are, disciplined and strong and motivated and self-sacrificial, and they care about the people that they're trying to lead and all of that. They probably wouldn't jump straight into describing a dictator. But at the end of the day, that is really what they think. This is why, once again, they're like, I only want a submissive woman. I want a woman that's not going to question me. I want a woman that's going to take my lead. One of the biggest reasons for this is how much men are coddled by society. They are made every excuse for, and they're not really held to the consequences of their own actions, whereas women are actually held responsible for the actions of other people, right? When a woman gets essayed or raped or something, the first question is always, well, what did she do? What was she wearing and why was she there? So imagine how good of a leader you're being trained to be when you're being asked to take such radical responsibility for yourself every single day. Whereas boys are just told, well, it's okay. Boys will be boys. You didn't mean to do that. She'll get over it. It's okay. No big deal. When you're raised like that, you are not being given the chance to develop crucial leadership skills. You are being given the chance to develop crucial follower skills. At best. At worst, you're being raised to be an oppressor. Why? Because oppressors never get to experience the consequences of their actions. They make everybody else pay for the consequences of their own actions. That is basically most men's endgame. When everybody's serving me, that means I have made it. Everybody's serving me. Nobody's asking me any questions. Nobody's challenging me. Nobody's asking me to better myself. Nobody's asking me to do anything. They're acting like I'm the perfect little boy that I am. They think that they will have arrived at the status of leader, alpha, etc. When really, that is how you arrive at spiritual and physical unaliving. Like, you are spiritually unalive, and your physical form is soon going to follow. That's why men actually don't live as long when they're by themselves. And whenever they're around women who are actually good leaders, it's the men that are rewarded with extra years to add to the end of their life. And women are punished. Women actually lose years off their life simply by cohabitating with a man. A real leader values critical thinking. A real leader understands that they have to make sacrifices. A real leader understands that they're actually not the most important person in the room, and that being the strongest person in the room means absolutely nothing unless you're using that strength to help others. Otherwise, if you're using that strength to control others, you are nothing more than a dictator and a villain. You are not by any means a leader. But this is what men always get confused. It is literally, they cannot tell the difference between the two pictures of leadership and oppression. They're like, these two things are the same. So yeah, ladies, please stay safe out there and away from these losers. Godspeed. Mwah.